Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vinoda Bihari Mandir, Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupan Gauri Guru Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Vinoda Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Harinam Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Gaur. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Shri Gauriya Giti Gucha, Vandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Patagamanam. Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagano Lalita Shri Vishakhamritamshcha Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Shri Bhakti Vedanto Narayanitti Namine Nama Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sudacham Audalya Madhurya Gunashchayuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tvam Shirasham Namami Trigandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Padabjivitaika Hridde Chaitanya Leela Amrita Sarasaram Narayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Shri Shriman Bhakti Prajnana Keshavurti Namine Pativarta Charitraya Svashritanam Chapaline Jiva Dukhe Sadaratayo Shri Rama Prema Daine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Vaishabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnano Daine Brahmave Namaha माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाद्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगम्भिरुभातो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भारसम्बोधे पदम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगम्बराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजगत्प्रिय वैष्णवः सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्तो राधाकान्तो नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतो पङ्गो मम मन्दं मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमदं श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठानिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्त्रसरसारम्भे वंशीवततस्थितः गोपीनाथ श्रियस्तु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम् जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदो श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दम्बुदिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनं हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम् परो नस्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम Rama Hare Hare. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya.
Thank you so much, Jiva Bhavana Prabhu, for your very valuable and wonderful seva. And Dandavat Pranam, all Vaishnavas.
Dandavat Pranam. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Nabe Ayoti Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Nabe Ayoti Sokala Sahani Maladiya Guru Nichamane Sprihanu Hino Sokala Sahani Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Nabe Ayoti Sokole Soma Kulite Shagati Dehonatha Jatha Jatha Sokale Sama Tobe Tugani Harinam Sukhe Aparadha Hareha Tobe Tugani Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Nabe Ayoti Kripa Bindu Diya Guru Dasi Kobireno Kripa Lohiyaye Jana Kritartha Hoye Nato Kobireno Kripa Shakti Buddhi Ami Arti Guru Re Atma Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupana Guru Varga ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai. How is your connection? Please let us know if you can see.
And if it's choppy or not.
Kirupe Parivo Seva, Muy Duracha, page 45. Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jayo Vaishnava Thakur. Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata.
Page 47. Young Kali Rupa.
Yam Kalirupa Jai Goma Jai Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Sorry, dear Vaishnavas, we're back. 1 minute.
It has to go on that.
Okay, sorry.
Make sure it's not pulling too tight, otherwise it'll pull it off.
Oh, Hare Krishna.
Exactly as I said.
It's not the steadiest of
Back it up.
systems.
You have to back it up. No, the whole thing.
Okay, okay, we got this.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry. Hopefully, perhaps it's a better picture any moment.
Yes, I actually wrote to one of the main internet providers in Vrindavan, and he said that they're all like that. In other words, they're all not dependable because they're not. Even the regular mobile phone connections are not
I think it's a
dependable.
better picture overall. So
Is it better?
I think so.
Please forgive us. We also don't like to be disrupted in the middle of calling out any bhajan. Rup Goswami. Jai Jai Nityananda Rohini Kumar, page 64.
Says it's better.
Okay. Page 340, 340. Sake Kala Gurudeva. The fan has a different pitch than the tampura. I was hearing two different tampuras.
Prabhu is posting the nectar. Keep a lookout.
The fan is in G. Who would have thought? You hear it? So, we're going to sing Sri Damodarashtakam, which our Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj said actually we should sing during the 4 months of Chaturmasya. We should meditate on these pastimes and sing. So,
What page?
I don't know. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Page 290. And we learned how to sing this from Krishna das Prabhu. We learned everything from him. Namami Shravanam Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Namami Shravanam शीघ्र होने स्थिता नमामि शरणं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं यत्सद्गुणारं मुकुरव्रजमानं नमामि शरणं नमस्ते स्तुतां स्फुरति विधाने त्वदीयादरायातो विश्वस्य धामे नमस्ते स्तुतां त्वदीयादरायातो विश्वस्य धामे नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय ओ नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय नमो अनन्तलीलाय नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो राधिकाय ओ नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो राधिकाय ओ नमो राधिकाय त्वदीयप्रियाय नमो राधिकाय ओ नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय ओ नमो अनन्तलीलाय देवाय दामोदर राधा दामोदर दामोदर राधा दामोदर ओ जय राधा दामोदर राधा दामोदर राधे कृष्ण हे कृष्ण हे कृष्ण हे कृष्ण हे श्री राधा दामोदर की जय राधे जय जय माधव दैत्य 341 जय राधे जय जय माधव दैत्य जय राधे जय जय Hare Krishna. So once we were in Rup Sanatan Gauriya Math with Srila Gurudeva. I can't remember what day it was or what the event was, but Srila Gurudeva looked at Krishna das and said, Vipralamha, that means a mood of separation. And immediately Krishna das broke into this tune that we're going to sing now. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shishinitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupan Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Is the connection still okay?
Yeah, it's good. Very good.
Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Nityanamine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girin yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashto Tarashata Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. In the same thousands of Dandava Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashto Tarashata Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandava Pranam.
Dandava Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Yes. So today, well, last night, but we woke up this morning to the news that a very dear god brother of ours, Krishna das Prabhu, the famous kirtaniya, son of Gurudeva, has departed from this world due to complications of what they call double pneumonia. Krishna das Prabhu, of course, he's famous for all of his kirtans and how he was able to serve Srila Gurudeva with his kirtan. Gurudeva would practically brag about him, how he could make 20,000 dance, what kind of energy and what kind of enthusiasm he had. And I remember many years before in New Braj, in Badger, California, when Srila Gurudeva, he asked the devotees, who do you think is the better kirtaniya, Krishna das or one other Vaishnava? And so many devotees had their preference. Many were screaming, oh, this one, this other one. And Gurudeva said, Krishna das is number one, like that. So Gurudeva really liked his kirtan style, he liked his enthusiasm, he liked his mood, and he preferred that kirtan. And we saw how Gurudev would engage him, not only in India, not only during the parikramas, wherever, Brajamandal Parikrama, Navadvip Parikrama, and anywhere else he traveled around the world. Gurudev wanted Krishna das there. He had a special capacity to enthuse and enliven everyone in Kirtan. But he wasn't only a kirtaniya. Krishna das was also a very nice, simple, sweet, honest sevak and devotee. It was not complicated. So Krishna das was able to serve in many different ways. He was also expert in the kitchen as a cook. He was expert in so many different services. He could also preach. He was good at preaching. So in between his kirtans, he would say something, speaking different ways, and he was very, very natural. But he left most of the preaching to the senior Vaishnavas, the sannyasis, and Gurudev. But when he was on his own, he was able to preach very, very nicely. So he was expert in so many arts. He came to Gurudev when he was very, very young. You can see, I think they've been posting pictures today because of his departure from this world, and there are pictures of him when he looks maybe no older than 10, 12, 13 years old. Srila Gurudev had a very affectionate and fatherly-like relationship toward him. He always wanted him to become better and to excel. So Gurudev was also quite strong with him. He wanted him to go to school, to get an education. And sometimes Gurudev would also be quite harsh with him if he would disobey. Krishna das Prabhu told us once, he said that when he was younger, he was supposed to be going to school, he was supposed to be taking his tests, but instead he decided to do his own thing. He decided to go out on collections with the other devotees, the brahmacharis. They were going from, was it Ekadashi? Yeah. Going from door to door and collecting donations and like this. But Gurudev had ordered him, you go to school. So when Gurudev found out, Gurudev became very furious. What? You're not following my order, you're doing these other things, but you're not doing that. And he said that Gurudev got angry with him and smacked him. And after that, he became upset and he got scared. He said he got scared and he peed himself. And then Gurudev, he said Gurudev felt so bad that he never smacked him again. Gurudev felt bad because he got scared. So Gurudev had so much affection for him as well. But he always wanted to see him improve, to increase in his seva, to increase in his quality of Vaishnava seva and submission to Guru. So he was training him up so nicely. The Krishna das never took any position, although he probably could have. He always remained quite humble and also in the background. For Kirtan, Gurudev would tell him, stand up and do this. And he would follow the order of Gurudev and act as Gurudev's voice. He would act in a way that Gurudev could inspire thousands through him. So as Gurudev would make him dance, he would dance, and he could also dance very well. We have not seen or heard anyone else's kirtan quite like his. He also had the special ability to understand the flow of Srila Gurudev's Harikatha and how Srila Gurudev would be speaking, even if it didn't seem like the kirtan that Krishna das was going to sing was on topic, or even in relation to the subject. So maybe you want to tell?
Sure. Can I just tell from here? Yes. So I'll just tell from here. Once here in Vrindavan, Srila Gurudev was speaking so much about the rare human form of life. And before he finished, he just maneuvered his hand in such a way that was telling me that I should come and sing at the end of his Harikatha. So I got up and I sat next to Kishori Mohan Prabhu, and Krishna das was next to him. And I said to Kishori, I'm going to sing Bhaja Huremana because it matches what Gurudev is speaking on. And Krishna das Prabhu looked at me and said, no, do Harinamatua Aneka Swarupa. And I looked at him and I'm like, but he's speaking on this rare human form, like he's not speaking about Harinam. And Krishna das just laughed and he said, Harinamatua.
He said, trust me.
Yeah, he was like, trust me, Harinamatua. So I turned it to that page and I just waited, and Gurudev continued speaking. And then he looked at me to sing, and then he said, oh, one thing. And then he started just glorifying Harinam out of the blue, just glorifying Harinam. And Krishna das just started laughing and looked at me like, you see? And then I sang Harinamatua. And they were trying to get Gurudev to leave to go to his room, and Gurudev wouldn't. He said, no, no. And he sat for the whole very long kirtan. And I was wondering afterwards, was it Krishna das that inspired Gurudev to speak on Harinam, or the opposite? Because he was so sure, no, 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 be prepared, he'll want Harinamatua. And we noticed that Krishna das Prabhu always sang everything that was perfect to facilitate the moods of Gurudev when he was speaking. And he also helped us to learn how to serve Gurudev in that way. He was so expert.
Thank you. She'll probably add more afterward. So Srila Gurudev always had so much trust and faith that Krishna das would be able to represent what he wanted to give. Even when Gurudev ordered me, he said, you should always sit close so that I can use you for kirtan whenever I like. And that was what Krishna das was for him. Once Gurudev told me, he said, you should learn to do kirtan like Krishna das. So, of course, I have never been able to come close, and I will probably never be able to come close, at least not in this life. But anyhow, Krishna das really took me under his wing, and he shared so much with me. He allowed me to record the kirtans, and he always kept me sitting next to him. If he was ever leading a stand-up kirtan, he would always call Kishori Mohan, and he would give me the second mic to sing backup for him. This is how he was teaching me. Maybe Gurudev told him to teach me as well. And then he would also call me before he began Mangalacharan to be there to play harmonium or keyboard and facilitate, and also to sing in the mic. So Krishna das and I over the years developed a very sweet relationship, full of a lot of affection. And we would hang out together, speak together, talk together. But he was very, very simple. Very simple. He always wanted to stay in the background. He saw so many things. He even once alerted us. He said, oh, there's so many politics going on. He said, you will see in the future so many politics. He said, I just want to stay in the background. I don't want to be involved in any of this. So he always just maintained a very simple mode. And he would, wherever the Vaishnavas were, he would travel and be with them and assist them with kirtan as they were preaching. He never took any big prominent role. One thing, when he came to the mutt, he was very, very young. And of course, he accepted the cloth of brahmacharya, which is saffron cloth. But he was quite young at the time. And we know that there was one lady and him, they had some attraction toward each other for years. And there was a point in time when he decided that he wanted to become married. Of course, in Gaudiya Math, if anyone goes from brahmacharya to marriage, it's considered a very big deal. And definitely from sannyas to marriage is considered absolutely no. But from brahmacharya to marriage also, that it's unlike how we grew up in ISKCON. People were thinking, okay, from brahmacharya, then I will go to grihastha life. But in Gaudiya Math, they have white cloth brahmacharya and saffron cloth brahmacharya. So Krishna das was saffron cloth brahmacharya. Srila Gurudev told him something, because he told Gurudev that he wanted to get married. Krishna das revealed this to me and my wife. So Krishna das told Gurudev, I want to be married. And Gurudev said, just please don't do it in my presence. Don't wait until after I leave. And Krishna das told us, he said, I couldn't do that because I couldn't live my life knowing that I want to get married and with the idea that I will be waiting until Gurudev leaves for me to do so. He said, so I had to do it in front of him. And whatever punishment or whatever mood that Gurudev or any Vaishnavas would have to me, I just had to be simple and honest. I didn't want to be in a state of mind thinking, when Gurudev will go, then I will get married. So Krishna das had this very simple kind of honesty and sincerity, that he didn't want to create this any kind of dissension or have any pretension. So in front of Gurudev, he accepted white cloth and took a very humble position. And Gurudev accepted him and continued utilizing him in service. After Krishna das became married, he was living in a very small place in Govardhan. And I said, so how are you, Prabhu? How are you doing? And Krishna das said, oh, every day we are chanting 64 rounds and we're doing Govardhan Parikrama. I said, then what marriage? And he said, exactly, exactly. And even within marriage, he was mostly traveling around India, going from place to place, being with different Vaishnavas when they were doing their programs with Sridhar Maharaj or Madhav Maharaj or Banma.
His wife was very dharmic, always chanting.
And his wife was always serving and chanting and very devout. So Krishna das actually, even within marriage, was behaving in a way that was, I would say, even better than many sannyasis. He was honest, simple, straightforward, living his life in a way that was respectable and always engaging himself in seva, constantly chanting. This morning we heard that this was something that was very particular about him, is that he did not neglect his Harinam, and that we've seen that he was always chanting, either in Kirtan or on his Japamala. He was chanting quite a lot. And Krishna das was always serving in every way. In the later years, we saw that he was serving mostly in terms of Kirtan. But for years, we heard he was even the main cook in Keshavji Gaudiya Math. He was serving in so many different capacities. He accepted whatever Gurudev gave him, whether it was love, affection, chastisement. He always accepted it all with humility and with grace. And as he was a friend of mine, not only a friend, he was also a mentor, but also like a brother. And so much of my service to Srila Gurudev, especially in the physical presence of Gurudev, was shared with him directly. I can never separate myself from him because of that shared seva. We served together as his younger brother and as his student. It wasn't official, it was affection. But still, all of the tunes that we've learned, the bhajans, the syncopation, how to progress, and we're not able to represent him very well, but still, we've learned so much from him. And I just wanted to share that he will be very missed. But also there was another thing. After, I don't know exactly when it happened, but sometime in the middle of 2019, Krishna das Prabhu had a stroke. And that stroke paralyzed his right side and also severely affected his left side. So he was becoming a little bit stronger and developing some ability, but even then his memory was sometimes coming and sometimes going. He was not really able to sing properly or to lead kirtan. He was in a state of constant rehabilitation, and he was not in such a way where he was able to serve with all of his energy and all of his heart, and especially with that special service that he was given, which was to lead kirtan. And so, as we all know, he was in quite a difficult situation. And then recently, of course, he contracted some kind of sickness which sent him to the hospital, and of course, yesterday he left this world. I was thinking about that, and I know I shared it earlier, some of you may have read it, but before Srila Gurudeva left this world, Srila Gurudeva's mood was, with all of these medicines and all of these procedures you want to give me, will I be able to continue serving or not? And they said, because they wanted to do surgeries and this and that, and they said, there's no guarantee, we cannot guarantee, Gurudev. And Gurudev said, then let me go. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm just trapped here but not able to serve. He actually asked, will I be able to continue to write? And they said, we don't know, Gurudev. He said, enough, I've done everything I came to do. So this is the mood that Srila Gurudeva had. He didn't want to be in a situation where he was not able to serve. And Krishna das was mentored, was trained, and by Srila Gurudeva, and Gurudeva was his life, was his soul. His heart was completely submitted at the lotus feet of Srila Gurudeva and his Diksha Guru Srila Bhaktivedanta Mohan Goswami Maharaj. And as much as I know of Krishna das, the kind of energy that he was exhibiting always, the kind of enthusiasm, his ability to also move crowds and to engage them in kirtan. Without this, it was like so much frustration there. And he would even cry from time to time, what can I do? What can I do? So I'm praying, I'm not going to make any assumption of where he is, because I don't know exactly where his heart is. But all I can say is that he was the object and recipient of the mercy of Srila Gurudeva, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, of his Diksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Mohan Goswami Maharaj, of Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Goswami Maharaj, and of so many beautiful, pure, transcendental Vaishnavas, and thousands and thousands and thousands of so many different levels of Vaishnavas. They all showered their affection on him. They have so much mercy or a mood of affection toward him. And so he is guaranteed a rapid progression on his journey toward his ultimate destination. And I seek or beseech all of you who are watching also, that we can all also send our good wishes, our prayers to him. Maybe not that he needs them, but as an affectionate thing, that may you be blessed, may you move rapidly on the path of devotion, may you be able to sing freely with full power and potency, may you dance, and may you cause everyone else to dance. And praying for his Jivatma, that it may attain that beautiful destination, his perfection in the Kirtan of Hari Guru Vaishnava Sachinandan Gaura Hari Nityananda Prabhu. So, Shri Krishna das Prabhu ki jai. Sudevi, would you like to add anything?
No, that was beautiful.
We have so many other very personal and deep interactions with him, but also some are very valuable lessons, and these lessons are not necessarily for public dissemination, but certain things that we've learned and certain things that he has also learned, and we witness these in relation with Gurudev. And because of that connection, we developed so much, even in terms of the depth of our own relationship with him. Our relationship deepened with respect, with affection, with honesty, with humility. One thing I keep seeing in my mind's eye... Oh, did you want to share something?
I just wanted to say that the one thing that really strikes me so much was that he was very, very simple and very honest. And that really melts a heart. We may make so many mistakes, we may make so many choices that others may perceive as wrong or may perceive as not the right ones. But he never hid from that. He was never duplicitous. He was always very beautiful, honest, and open. And that melts the heart of all of the Vaishnavas. So I just wanted to add that. I know you said that, but I just wanted to add that that's one thing about him that I pray that can also enter my heart. That kind of non-duplicitous, open-hearted honesty, whether we make mistakes or not, whether we're foolish or not, whatever it may be, but earnestly to continue serving no matter what circumstance we are in, honestly and with simplicity.
Saralata e Vaishnavata. Simple-heartedness or simplicity is Vaishnavism. It's synonymous with Vaishnavism. Vaishnavas are devoid of hypocrisy, duplicity. They're very simple-hearted. As they are here, they are outside. And this is something that we aspire toward. And also we can pray to him that may those qualities also manifest in our heart. The qualities of being ready and on call 24 hours a day to serve in any capacity. To also be simple, to not be striving after name and fame and this and that, just to be a servant. That's what Krishna das was. He was a beautiful sevak, servant of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. I'm remembering once upon a time when we were in the Fiji Islands in, where was that? In Suva. And we had waited a long time. It was very hot, very humid, very unpleasant weather at that time. And we were all melting. And we were waiting for Srila Gurudeva to arrive at this house. He was supposed to arrive much earlier, around noon, but he didn't arrive until after 4 p.m. And we had been waiting, doing Kirtan. They said he's coming, and then he didn't come, and then he came. He didn't come. They said he's coming. And then, no, he's not coming yet. So he must have stopped many times along the way. Finally, in the afternoon, he arrived, and we were doing a big Kirtan for him, waiting. They had the foot bathing paraphernalia ready for him, and they had his chair ready, and Gurudev walked right past all of us. He went into the bathroom, and he came out in his gamsha, and we were thinking, what's going on? Why is he in his gamsha? He just walked right past all of us, and we were doing Kirtan. Are we going to bathe his feet? What's going on? He went out the sliding glass doors and went into the swimming pool and just began swimming back and forth. And we were, are we supposed to bathe his feet after that? What's going on? We were all a little confused. And then he came back in, and as he was walking past all of us, he said, your foot water is there, you can have as much as you like. So all the devotees ran and they jumped in the water, except for two, myself and Krishna das. We were standing there next to each other watching all the devotees jumping in the water and just kind of looking, oh wow, how nice. And Braja Prabhu came behind us both and he just pushed us with everything that we had on. We went into the water and he was like, Haribol, like foot bath water. So we were taking foot bath of Gurudev bath at that time. And I was just remembering that sweet and happy moment of bathing in the foot water of Srila Gurudeva with Krishna das.
The rest of the story is Kishori had all of the money, the funds from our farm in Fiji on him.
It was all in the money belt along with my passport.
At the time, so
I'm hiding my face.
Afterwards, I was looking everywhere for Kishori Mohan Prabhu, and I asked Krishna, have you seen Kishori? And he started laughing. He said, come here, come here. And I followed him. And he brought me to this one room, and there was it was
near the pool.
Yeah, and inside this bathroom, Kishori was there with the blow dryer, blow drying all the money.
It was laid out all over this room. Krishna das was like, come here, look, look.
He's like, look at what he's doing. But Nard Muni said that you said something that you see in your mind's eye.
That's what I was seeing. I just kept seeing Krishna das and I being pushed into Gurudev's foot bath water together. And really I think that Gurudev was giving that foot bath water also by engaging us in seva of Kirtan, utilizing us as his own voice. Like he said, so I can use you whenever I like for Kirtan. And Gurudev trained Krishna das like that. He would do this, and Krishna das knew every moment, every move that Gurudev wanted. He was able to adjust and shift in a moment's notice. Because Gurudev also was a very prominent kirtaniya of Nam Kirtan back in the day. He was one of the most famous in all of Gaudiya Math. But in his elderly age, he could not do it so much. So he would sing through Krishna das and so many others. So he was very fond of Krishna das Prabhu, giving him so much affection, giving him so much mercy, and engaging him in seva. So today I have posted on Facebook I think my most recent post. There is 3 links to download the bhajans of Krishna das that I've recorded over the years. They're in zip files, so you would have to download via computer and extract it, but then there's tons of MP3s of so many of the bhajans and the kirtans that Krishna das led in Germany, in Navadvip, and also so many of the Brajmandal parikramas. And I've mixed them nicely and highlighted his vocal. So you're welcome to go. It's a free download, so you're welcome to download them and listen to them. And today I just found the last kirtan that I attended with Krishna das before he had his stroke. And that kirtan was on Srila Gurudev's appearance day in 2019 here in Gopinath Bhavan, Vrindavan. And Krishna das sang a very beautiful tune, which I had not heard him sing before. So I had recorded that on my phone and I just found it today. So I'll mix that and I will also present that to the greater Vaishnava community. Very beautiful. I had only heard a recording of it from Srila Gurudeva, that tune from many years before on a full moon night or lunar eclipse kirtan. And the tune is like Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So when you hear Krishna das singing it, of course Krishna das does it right, and I do a bad version of trying to copy him. But anyhow, hopefully he can give me his mercy that one day I might be able to sing in such a way that Srila Gurudeva will be pleased, regardless of my technical ability, at least that Srila Gurudeva will be pleased with my endeavor. Also, we saw Krishna das the last time in Delhi. I think it was in January. We went to do a program there, or in December. And of course, we've been kind of locked down since then, since March. And I saw him in Delhi. The devotees in the mutt gave him a room there, and his wife was taking care, making sure everything was taken care of.
He was able to chant.
He was able to chant. He was able to take shelter of Sri Harinam in the form of Harinam Japa. And it's kind of interesting because we've seen that generally in the mutt, if someone ends up being in a disabled state, brahmacharis have no idea how to take care of them. So they end up having to go into some other situation. We've also seen that with Srila Prabhu. So he went back to Hawaii after he got hurt. The Krishna das Prabhu, somehow it was almost like it was prearranged that his wife would be able to look after him, and she served and looked after him very nicely. She was arranging for so many therapists and everything. And I remember going to see them, and we offered that if we could help them in any way, we would assist. And I remember I was massaging his arm, his right arm, and at that point something happened and his finger started moving, and he got so excited that there was some feeling and some motion that took place in his right hand. I was quite hopeful that he would come out of that at least a little bit more. But as we've been discussing, the possibility for departure from this world is very real, and it can be there at any step, at any moment. I discovered that my own family member, who recently broke her hip and her wrist, she was in the park and a friendly dog came and just kind of jumped on her, and she fell down the wrong way at the wrong place and broke her hip and had to have hip replacement surgery, broke her wrist in 3 places. So the point I'm making is that we never know when it can happen. And this is another stark reminder for all of us that this human form of life is the most essential thing, but it is also so fragile. Like a drop of water on a lotus petal. And so through this situation, through that situation, through all of the other situations that we're witnessing, this is another reminder that we should take this human form of life very seriously. We don't know when our time will come, whenever it might be, according to the laws of karma, but at least we should be remembering Krishna's names, forms, qualities, and pastimes, the mercy and blessings of the pure devotees. And hopefully we have engaged in enough Guru and Vaishnava Seva and service to Krishna that those impressions will be constantly reminding us of Krishna. Today I was speaking with one devotee, and we were discussing material impressions and spiritual impressions. Impressions, our Gurudev said, samskars, like a groove. If you lower a rope into a well enough, even if it's lined with stone, gradually it will make a groove in the stone. So this is Maya sanskar. So how do you get rid of the impressions of Maya? You need to lower the Krishna. Okay, lower, but the bucket of Krishna into that well means constantly absorbing oneself in Krishna, and then that impression of Maya will be completely eradicated, and we will only have the impressions of Krishna, Krishna sanskar. So the impressions, or the permanent, impressions, this is the word that keeps coming. The impressions of Krishna should completely take over and wipe out all of the material impressions. And that is only by constant practice in the association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha, in the association of the pure devotees of the Lord, then one can always do Nam Kirtan, can always hear the glories of Krishna, Bhagavat Shravan, Mathura Vas, one can always reside within the Dham, and Srimurtir Shraddhaya Sevan, one can worship the Lord with love, with faith, the deity form of the Lord. So everything happens in the association of pure devotees. So on this day, in remembrance of Krishna das Prabhu, such a beautiful devotee and such a beautiful sevak, such a powerful representative of Kirtan. He's like a Kirtan, Shakti Avesh of Kirtan. He was infused with the potency of being able to do Kirtan and to inspire thousands to chant. And he didn't take anything for himself. Right? So many these days, they do Kirtan and everything for the purpose of eating the name and the fame and the money and everything that comes as a result of that. Oh, what a great kirtaniya I am. Krishna das was not like that. I sat next to him every single day during Kartik, morning and evening, and for an hour and a half. I sat there and we would communicate with each other. And he was simply serving, doing his seva. Even when so many others wouldn't come on time, it would be Krishna das and myself and Sudevi. Sometimes it would just be us. And we would begin, we would all start, and then the other devotees would come. But Krishna das was there just to do his service. Day in and day out, he was making those impressions. The impressions of Vaishnava Seva. The impressions of service to Krishna through chanting his names, and to the Vaishnavas through glorifying the Vaishnavas through the medium of Kirtan. So, I pray that Krishna das will also be merciful to us and infuse us with that mood of service, of simplicity, of honesty, of faithfulness. He was very faithful, very faithful. And also with the vision to be able to discriminate, because he also had that kind of vision. That's why he chose to take a very lesser role. He didn't want to be involved with all of the yes, he said, mark my words. He said, Mahabharat war is coming like this. So he didn't want to be involved with all the Mahabharat war and everything. He wanted to take a step back and just be little and simple and just serve. So I pray to him that those moods of simplicity, of service, of honesty, of submission to Sri Guru, that these moods will manifest in my heart. And wherever he's gone, which I have faith is far beyond where I am, may he also pray for my benefit as his little brother, that put in a good word for Kishori Mohan, or at least send your mercy. All right, and for Sudevi and for all of you. So, Krishna das Prabhu ki jai. When we say that, especially upon the departure of any Vaishnava, it means may they be victorious. Victorious over what? May Sri Guru, may Mahaprabhu, may Nityananda Prabhu mercifully take them under their wing and bring them away from any Mayak. May they be victorious over Maya. This is the meaning of that. So Krishna das Prabhu ki jai. So I would like to continue with you going beyond Vaikuntha, and if I can remember any other thing which manifests in my heart of what I can share, I will share that. So before entering into this beautiful transcendental treasure, going beyond Vaikuntha, which is a compilation of some of the lectures that our Srila Gurudeva gave on the beautiful manifestation of the heart of Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita, we will pray in the dust of their lotus feet in the words of Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. Vairaga Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Apayana Mam Anubhipshamandam Kripambudiryapad Dukuduki Sanatana Swam Prabhum Ashnayami. Praying in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods which are present within these pages manifest within our hearts. Today we've been feeling actually pretty sad all day. It's quite painful to lose the association of a Vaishnava, and not only a Vaishnava but also a friend.
I was wondering if really quick you could say something about how we were speaking about how, in this world somebody, when they leave, they become maybe a Facebook post or a Twitter mention, but when someone is a Vaishnava and they're serving and they're chanting the holy names, what that does to the heart of Sri Guru and Krishna.
We were contemplating something very interesting today. That people, when they depart from this world, suddenly everyone's writing about them on Facebook, and then tomorrow or the next day, or sometimes even in the same day, then they kind of just disappear from the consciousness of everyone. Even if they're high-level personalities and respected everywhere, Sri Guru, that's one thing, but most, they kind of just end up being forgotten. And we were thinking about that. One day and then everyone's like, wow, and then the only thing that really matters is not how many people love us in this world, or how many people can remember a few moments. Because a lot of people, they like to leave this world and they have this idea, I want to leave my mark. I want to be remembered. This is nature of people in this world generally. I want to do something so that I'm remembered, or to know that people love me, or that my name will go in the history books. Something great before I die. Some legacy should be left. But we don't find that, especially these days. It's become quite, people will go, wow, that's nice, that's amazing. Unless someone starts a war, they're kind of not remembered. I mean, serious wars. Even presidents aren't remembered. They're kind of like, who's that? The ones that history is just marked by horrors. One war, one famine, one pestilence after another. And then it's maintained or remembered in the history books. So what is important for us? Really, it's not about leaving our mark on this world. What is important for us as either Vaishnavas or aspiring Vaishnavas is the degree to which we have dedicated our life in service, in simplicity, in humility to Sri Guru, to Vaishnavas, in such a way where they will cast their merciful glance on us. We don't need to worry about the rest of the world. For the rest of the world, we come and go. But how can we create an impression within the heart of any Vaishnava or within Krishna that they will not turn their eyes from us? As our Gurudeva, as Srila Prabhupada, as our Vaishnavacharyas have said, we should not try to see Krishna, but rather we should be in such a way that Krishna will want to see us. So Krishna won't be interested by our show of greatness, by our ego, by our pride, by how many people we can impress with our abilities, by how many people we can move by our sweet Harikatha, by how many donations we're able to extract by our expertise in this way and that way. This is not at all attractive to Guru, Gauranga, Radha and Krishna. But the simplicity, the honesty, the love, the dedication by which we serve, the complete one-pointed conviction, that mood of surrender that I am yours and I have no one else. Karuna na hoile kandiya kandiya prana narakhibo ar. That without your mercy, I don't even have any way to maintain my life or my existence. I am dependent upon you. Tomara karuna asa, your mercy is everything to me. With that kind of desperate crying from the heart, to somehow or other endear oneself to the Vaishnavas, especially to Sri Guru, Gauranga, Nityananda Prabhu, Radha Krishna. By this is the sign of success. Everything else, one day we may be remembered and then that will go. That's not the important thing. The important thing is how much we have endeared ourselves to Guru and Vaishnavas. That they will give their mercy, that they will seek after us, that they will grab our hand. And even if we go to hell, they will go there and pull us out by our hair. Eshe Dori More Koropar. In that bhajan Thakur Vaishnava Gana, there Narottam Das Thakur is praying that. And Srila Gurudeva has this mood toward his disciples. But we should understand what is a disciple. A disciple is that person who places themselves in that position voluntarily, where I will accept the discipline of Gurudev, even if it's severe. But no matter what, I will be loyal. I will be loyal. Like Gurudev said about some of his sannyasis. And I know Krishna das was the same. He said about, this was early on, maybe 1998. He said, I must be so careful with all of you, the devotees who were just coming from the Western countries. If I say something that even slightly pinches you, you will say, oh, I don't like Narayan Maharaj. And he said, then you will leave me in bhakti forever. So I have to be so careful and gentle with you. He said, but for them, those boys who grew up with him, who were living in the mutt, who were there serving day in and day out, accepting his harsh chastisement for their own benefit. He said, I know that even if I beat them bitterly, they will never leave me. So how endearing is this to Sri Guru? That even if he does that, I have nowhere else to go. You are my foundation, Gurudev. You are my rock. I have no other place to go. So even if you beat me bitterly, still I have nowhere to go except for your lotus feet. This is Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling that we should have this mood. Sarvasva tomar charane sampya, ore chitomar ghare, tum to Thakur tomar kukur, boli ajana humore. You are my everything. I'm surrendering myself at your lotus feet. You are like my master and I'm like your dog. You can do whatever you like with me, but I will never give you up. Even if you abandon me, I will still only come to you. There was that time in Italy when Srila Gurudeva, he went to the beach and it was every day. He could see that there was one dog that was coming there and searching, looking this way and that way. And Gurudev sat down and started speaking about this dog. He said that this dog once had a master, a very loving master, but he became old, he became unwanted, and so his master abandoned him there at the beach. And so he's always searching, where is my master? Where is my master? Anyone who comes, any car that drives up, he runs and looks, is my master? Is that my master? And as Gurudeva was speaking about this dog searching for his master, he began to weep and weep. And immediately, of course, by seeing this, it was udipana, or stimulation, to remember the mood of the gopis and Krishna leaving Vrindavan and abandoning them, but they could never abandon Krishna. Always searching, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? When is he coming? He promised he would come in 2 days or 4. If he said I was never returning, we would gladly give up our lives millions of times. We will set ourselves on fire. But because he said he's coming, if he comes here and we're dead, then what? Then his heart will be broken. So just for that, we're maintaining our lives. And Gurudev was weeping and weeping, just seeing this dog searching for its master. So we can learn so much from this mood. This, Srila Gurudev said, this is the prime quality of the disciple. And this is what Gurudev wants from the disciple. Loyalty. Loyalty. In that kind of loyalty where Gurudev said, even if I beat them bitterly, they will not leave me. Can I develop this mood? This is what Mahaprabhu is saying in the last verse of Shikshashtaka. You can do whatever you like with me. You can break my heart if you want. You can kick me away. You can abandon me. You can beat me. Anything. Or you can embrace me. Whatever you like. This will not change the nature of my love for you. This is the definition of prema. Even though every reason may be there for it to break, not only will it not break, but it will continue to increase more and more. So he says, Mat pranana tastusa evana paraha. There is no condition. You are always my pranana, the Lord of my life's breath. Unconditionally, you are always my pranana. So we should first apply this mood at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. This is the only thing. As Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj said, there is no asset, there is no wealth, no beauty in this world other than the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev. So to develop that mood, that submissive mood, that mood of loyalty, this is the only thing that really matters for us. Guru nistha is the backbone of bhakti. Everything else can be a distraction. Let me develop that mood. So much so that Gurudev cannot continue walking forward without checking back. Are you with me? We should be in such a way that Guru, that Mahaprabhu, that Radha and Krishna will want to see us. And loyalty is the key to that. Simplicity, honesty, lack of duplicity, servitorship, submissiveness, loyalty. If we have that kind of mood, then they will not neglect us. And even if they did, we will never neglect them. So I've seen this mood in Krishna das Prabhu also. His mood of dedication, exclusivity, one-pointedness, loyalty, unwillingness to compromise on the essential teachings of Gurudev. Very, very simple, very sweet, very faithful. Like that example the Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives. Loyal like a dog. He was like the dog of Gurudev. And this is not a lack of glorification. Our Srila Prabhupada said, everyone has to be the dog of someone. Why not be the dog of Nityananda Prabhu? Be the dog of Sri Gurudev. As you tell me, I will do. You tell me to lead Kirtan, I will get up and lead Kirtan. You tell me to stop, I stop. You tell me to dance, I will dance. I will dance around you and I will cause all others to dance also. If anything is opposed to you, I will bark very loud and keep them far away. Anyone who's friendly and affectionate to you, oh, I will greet them with affection. This kind of mood, this will attract the attention of Gurudev. And utilizing all of my energy in serving Gurudev. Not becoming derailed into all kinds of other things. Keeping very close to the moods and the teachings of Gurudev. So I just wanted to share that. Sudevi requested me to share it, and Gurudev instructed me that I should be strong like her. So we have a few minutes here. We didn't get to read at all yesterday. So Gurudev was reading from the verse in Brihad Bhagavatamrita 2.4.194. And he was talking about Siddha, Nitya Siddha, eternal associates of the Lord, who are always present in Vaikuntha, who never were not in Vaikuntha, who never fell down, because no one can fall from Vaikuntha, who are always and who have always been engaged in serving the Lord eternally. And then sadhana siddha, those who were in this material world, bound in this material energy, but due to the mercy of the Lord in the form of association with sadhus, awakened their intrinsic eternal serving nature and the desire to serve Krishna, Krishna seva vasanam, by which they were able to become released from the clutches of this material energy and attain to their eternal loving service of Krishna. They are known as sadhana siddhas. Some say that there's no such thing as pure sadhana siddha, because our sadhana is actually for the purpose of receiving mercy. Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj asked, why do we do sadhana? If by our own power we cannot attain perfection, then why are we doing sadhana? He said, because Guru tells you to do it. And when he sees that you're sincere and you're willing to follow what he's telling you to do, follow this practice, then he gives you mercy, kripa, by which you are able to actually progress. By the mercy of Sri Guru, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, we are able to progress. So it comes in installments, he said. So then it is said that then even the sadhana siddhas are a function of mercy, which is also true. So we've heard of kripa siddhas, means those who have attained perfection through mercy. Well, like, who is that? Lakshahira, the prostitute who came to Haridas Thakur. By his mercy, within 3 days, she was converted to a pure Vaishnava. Mrigari the hunter, he liked to shoot animals and watch them slowly die, and this was his enjoyment. But Narada Muni, in one moment, put his hand on his head and showed him everything, what would be his future. Then he became afraid and fell at the feet of Narada Muni, and Narada Muni told him, give up all of these nonsense practices now, break your bow and take shelter of Harinam. He said, but how will I survive? Narada Muni told him, Krishna will provide everything. So this is Shraddha. If I just do Krishna Bhakti, then everything will manifest. Krishna will take care of all of my obligations. So he sat down, began chanting Harinam, stopped all of his simple activities. Within a very short time, all heard what happened to this hunter. Then they started bringing him foodstuffs and taking care of him. This was by the will of Krishna, that all of his obligations were taken care of. So this can be considered kripa siddha. But then we have sadhana, intense endeavor over thousands and thousands of years. But also within that sadhana, there's also mercy, which is coming from those who are senior, like Katyayani Vrat. Those young gopis were doing intense sadhana for thousands of years, and finally they took birth in Vrindavan from the wombs of gopis, and as young gopis were performing a very intense vrat in Yamuna River, in that cold time, praying for Krishna as their husbands, Katyayani Mahamai Mahayogindaneshwari Nanda Gopam Sutam Devam Patim Me Kurute Namaha. And then they needed the mercy, the blessings of those who had already attained the personal, intimate association from Krishna. So then they received the kripa of Srimati Radhika and other gopis to be able to attain this position. By their mercy, then the end result of their sadhana also depended upon kripa. So this is also seen that kripa is necessary even within sadhana, or one's practice toward attaining particular perfection. Oh. I just noticed that there's some comments coming here. Thank you, Jiva Pavana Prabhu, for posting all of that amazing nectar. I recommend it as amazing reading, that you should all go back and read that. Which page is it in Going Beyond Vaikuntha? 127. Depending which book you have, somewhere around. Okay, thank you. So now it is time. Did I read anything? No. Again, I did not read anything except for...
Today was a special day.
Yes, today is a special day. Jiva Pavana Prabhu did quote that beautiful remembrance in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. There, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Rai Ramananda, of all kinds of distress and kinds of suffering, what is the greatest? And Rai Ramananda replied, I don't know any suffering or any distress greater than that of separation from Vaishnavas.
Also, Srila Bhakti-Vigyan Bharati Maharaj always spoke about how we should honor the Vaishnavas, and I was remembering Prabandhavali and how Gurudev speaks on Nityananda Trayodasi about the barber and the lion, and how Guru feels so indebted to any seva. Nityananda Prabhu feels indebted that any seva is given toward Mahaprabhu, toward Guru, toward this mission of Mahaprabhu. So how much beauty and Shakti and mercy is coming from Gurudev, also remembering his seva today.
So very quickly I'm going to tell you the story that she just referenced. So Srila Gurudeva explained that Nityananda Prabhu, he's so kind, so merciful, and so soft. He never forgets any seva that is rendered to him. And Nityananda Prabhu manifests in this world in the form of Sri Guru, directly to us. So Srila Gurudeva told the story of a barber who was once traveling from his place of work back to his home, and he was traveling through a forest path. On this forest path, he saw there was a lion, and he became afraid for a moment. And that lion was simply just sitting there on the path, licking his paw. And the barber was thinking, oh, what's wrong with him? He looks very sad. And then he noticed there was a massive thorn going through the foot of that lion, and so much blood was there. And the lion just looked up at him, kind of in a pleading way. So the barber, without thinking of his own life or safety, got some tools, and he went and he removed that thorn from the foot of the lion, and the lion bounded away into the jungle. Many years later, that same barber was falsely accused of murder, and his sentence was to be thrown in the pit of lions. It so happened to be that that lion had been caught and starved for a few days. So the king, he was saying, I'm not guilty, I am innocent. But the king said, well, we will test your innocence. If this lion eats you, then we know that you're guilty. So they threw him in the pit of lions. That lion was there and immediately pounced toward him, but then he noticed, oh, it's that barber. Immediately he stopped and began licking that barber with so much affection that so many years before, you saved me from this very painful situation. So Srila Gurudeva said that Nityananda Prabhu is like this, so soft-hearted, that if anyone even once performs just a little seva, he can never forget it. And so we've seen how Krishna das Prabhu performs so much seva for Srila Gurudeva. Srila Gurudeva can never forget it. Srila Gurudeva ki jai. Krishna das Prabhu ki jai. Okay. So Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Srila Gurudeva ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupan Guruvara ki jai, Deepening Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachidananda Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Bihari ki jai, Radha Rani ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Hari Nama Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Krishna das Prabhu ki jai.
Did I get Srimati Radhika?
Govinda Damodara Madhave, Govinda Damodara Madhave, Govinda Damodara Madhave, Govinda Damodara Madhave. Bolo Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe, Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Shyam Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you all very much for being with us today, giving us the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev, our Guru Varga, and also to remember Krishna das Prabhu, our dear friend, God brother, mentor, teacher. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. I forgot to say this. It's very, very important for me to say it every day. I need to constantly remember this, that you all are engaging us in our Guru Seva. And for this, we are completely indebted. So thank you for that, for giving us this opportunity. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Radhe Radhe Radha Bihari Ju ki jai. Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Radhe Radhe.